Today, we are diving into one of the most brilliant, most audacious acts of, well, theological survival in all of history. It's an incredible story about how a conquered people literally hacked the symbols of their empire to reclaim their identity, their faith, and really their entire future. And it all kicks off with a question that might sound a little strange to us, but for them, it was a matter of life and death.
I mean, really think about that. For us, that's not really a category we operate in. But for the ancient Israelites, who were exiled in Babylon, this question was everything. Their home was gone, their temple was a pile of rubble, and they were staring down a truly terrifying possibility.
You see, back in the ancient world, politics and theology weren't just connected, they were basically the same thing. The logic was brutally simple. If your nation got crushed, it meant your God got overpowered by a stronger one. So for Israel, this wasn't just some political setback. It was an existential crisis, a total crisis of faith.
And this really sets up the central conflict perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you have the Babylonians, feeling pretty good about themselves, saying, look, our god Marduk is the king of the cosmos, and the fact that we just conquered you is all the proof we need. And on the other side, you have the exiles asking this devastating question. Wait, did our God actually lose?
And right into the middle of this crisis steps the prophet Ezekiel. Now, his answer doesn't come as some kind of philosophical argument or a new military strategy. No, it comes as a vision. And let me tell you, it is one of the strangest, most otherworldly, frankly bizarre scenes in all of ancient literature.
I mean, this vision is just a wild collection of images. You've got these creatures with 4 different faces, wheels inside of other wheels that are covered in eyes, a throne that looks like it's made of brilliant fire. It honestly sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. But here's the thing, every single one of these weird details is a very carefully chosen piece of a much, much bigger argument. And this, right here, is where the absolute genius of it all lies. See, Ezekiel isn't just making up a new symbolic language out of thin air. He's hijacking the language of his captors. He's about to launch a full-on theological counterattack, using Babylon's own cosmic code right back at them.
Okay, so let's start decoding this thing. Those 4 faces on the creatures, they are not random at all. They represent the 4 corners of the sky, the very framework of the Babylonian zodiac, which they believed gave structure to the entire universe. And what about those wheels covered in eyes? Well, those eyes aren't eyeballs. They're ancient symbols for stars. So the wheels themselves represent the constellations, the celestial bodies that the Babylonians used to measure time, and, they believed, to predict the fate of entire empires. So when you put all of these pieces together, the implication is absolutely staggering. Ezekiel's vision describes a throne that is literally built from the machinery of the cosmos, at least as Babylon understood it. The zodiac, the stars, the measurement of time, it's all there, forming the very structure of this divine throne chariot.
Which, of course, raises the ultimate question, right? If this throne is built from the very symbols of cosmic power and control, who has the authority to actually sit on it? It can't be Marduk, can it?
And here it is. This is the punchline of the whole vision. It is Yahweh, the God of the defeated, conquered, exiled Israelites, who is sitting on this throne. Ezekiel has just taken Babylon's entire cosmic worldview and put his God right on top of it. He's basically saying, you think your gods control time? My God built his throne out of time itself. And you see this idea echoing all over the place. This quote from the book of Daniel just says it all. If you control the times and seasons, well, then you control who rises and who falls. You are the one who controls history. So this vision, it isn't about escaping reality, it's about fundamentally redefining who's actually in charge of it. But this argument wasn't just limited to a wild, one-time vision. No, it was actually carved into the very architecture of Israel's temple. It turned stone and metal into a permanent symbolic fortress against the empire. Okay, for example, take the Bronze Sea. Now, in the ancient world, the sea was the ultimate symbol of chaos, of death, of everything untamed. In fact, Babylon's whole creation story was about their main god, Marduk, conquering a sea monster of chaos. But here, right at the entrance to Yahweh's temple, is this massive, calm, contained sea. The message is crystal clear. Chaos is already subdued here. We're past that. And if you look even closer, that sea rested on 12 oxen facing the 4 cardinal directions, the exact same directions as the 4 faces in Ezekiel's vision. So the architecture is making this double-layered claim.
Yahweh has not only subdued chaos, but he has founded that new order on his complete control over cosmic time.
But this symbolic warfare, it goes even deeper. If the sea was meant to address the fear of chaos out there in the world, the temple's altar confronted the ultimate fear inside every single person, the finality of death and destiny.
You see, in the ancient mindset, the altar was seen as a kind of world tree, this vertical axis that connected everything that exists. It was believed to link the heavens above with the netherworld, the realm of the dead, down below. The altar was the one place where all three of these realms actually met. It was the intersection of life, death, and the divine.
So, when you put it all together, the cosmic vision of the throne and the deep symbolism of the temple's architecture, what you get is this jaw-dropping declaration. This was never just about cheering up a bunch of defeated people. This was a complete re-engineering of their understanding of reality itself.
And this brings us to the final, powerful argument. Yahweh isn't just some local deity who happened to lose a battle. No. He is the sovereign Lord over everything. He rules the cosmos and time with that throne. He rules history and chaos with the bronze sea. And he even rules over death and destiny through the altar. It is a claim of total, absolute, universal sovereignty.
And for those exiles sitting in the heart of the Babylonian Empire, this message changed absolutely everything. Their God wasn't defeated. He was simply operating on a level they couldn't even see. Their suffering wasn't a sign of his weakness, but it was just one event unfolding under the watchful eye of a God who ruled the stars, the sea, and even the grave.
Which, leaves us with a pretty fascinating question for our own time. Ezekiel and the temple architects, they used symbols and narrative to fight an empire and to give their people a future. It really makes you wonder, what are the stories and symbols that are shaping our reality today? And who gets to control them?